I bought a joint for the homie.
I never knew there was a love like this before.
Hi friends, welcome back to the channel. My name is Gabby if you don't already know me, and I love to talk about all things money, finance, personal finance, organization, lifestyle, everything in the middle. If you're into that, subscribe. I would love to have you. Today's video is going to be a February mid-month check-in, and I cannot believe that this video is happening right now. I feel like I was just making my February reset, but you know, February is a short month, and I started my reset closer to January 27th. So I'm filming this on the 12th, and that means that we are at the halfway point. I just wanted to touch on a few items. I might sound a little bit weird. I'm currently wearing my AirPods as my microphone for today. I ended up returning my Rode mics, and I just purchased some DJI mics instead. And I'm very excited to have those guys, but they are in the mail. And I wanted to film this while I had some time. So I think what I wanted to do for this mid-month check-in is definitely check in on the budget, but I also wanted to check in on my goals as well. I think I kind of failed to go over my goals in January. I didn't touch on how they went for January just because I was running out of time. So I think what I'll do is try to make the mid-month check-in help me out in a way so that my final reset video at the end of the month isn't so gigantic and hard for me to edit. I also am toying around with splitting it into two videos, like a budget video and then like a goals favorites video. Let me know if you have any preference. I also was thinking about it, and I'm pretty sure midway through February means we are halfway through the first quarter of 2024. How did that happen? I have stolen my boyfriend's laptop, so if you see me looking off screen, that is what I'm looking at. So let's go over the February goals first and foremost. My top three goals were to, one, fine-tune my nighttime routine in the hopes of getting better sleep. I have been prioritizing sleep over almost anything for 2024. I have gotten a better gist of a nighttime routine. I have done a couple of the items that are in my steps here. This has been going well. I've been meal prepping my desserts. That was a big one. I meal prep those on Sundays at the beginning of the week, and then I don't have to worry about it at the end of the days on the weekdays. I love dessert. It's one of my favorite things I look forward to all day. So I like just having them meal prepped, and then I can just grab it out of the fridge and eat before bed. This is something I need to be a little bit better about, is just finding ways to relax and wind down to like soothe my system. I feel like I'm like a little too wound up sometimes when I go to bed, and that's why I can't fall asleep. I have been doing the Sleepy Girl mocktail. This has been going kind of viral online. Canada just got Poppy just in time for the Sleepy Girl mocktails. I have been loving that, although I noticed that Poppy has caffeine. This is a Sleepy Girl drink where you're mixing tart cherry juice, which apparently has something in it that makes you sleepy, a magnesium cap that you like pop in, and then you mix it with like a Poppy, or it says like any sparkling drink, but everyone's using Poppy online. But Poppy has caffeine. So my dumb ass is drinking a can of caffeinated beverage like a coffee before bed. So I have switched, we got some Cove kombuchas that we have switched our sleep time. Oh, I have to let my cat in. So I would say this goal is being achieved. I just wanted to make sure I continue with it and continue fine-tuning it before the end of the month, and then I'll take it off. Goal number 2 was to start half marathon training. I don't know if you can tell, I feel like there's been more running content on my channel this month already. I am running consistently and on a plan. I downloaded the Runna app, Runna, R-U-N-N-A. I feel like I've heard really good things about it. I have not paid for it, so I got like the plan and like the first week, and I have not paid for it. I just screenshotted the kilometers that they want me to run and like the type of run they want me to run, and I've just been kind of coming up with it on my own. Yes, I have started. I am on my journey. It's going good. And then the third goal was to start next XT product. So kind of an easy one to tick off because I have started. I haven't made as much progress as I was hoping to by this point of the month, and I think that's just because YouTube takes up a lot of my time. So I might plan to do certain weeks where I only upload one video, and that way I have more time to work on an Etsy product, because this is something I'm very passionate about and I want to have the time to be creative and create new products. I just haven't had that much time to do so. But I did start a new product. I created the exact same template, the exact same budget spreadsheet, but it has all of the formulas for if you are a debit card user and a cash user predominantly. It tallies everything from this month. So takes off your expenses from this month's income. That is a free download if you already bought the tracker. If you want the debit cash version of the spreadsheet, I can send you the link. Just shoot me a message. You can either comment down below and I will get in contact with you, or you can send me an Instagram message or an Etsy message. Send me a message somewhere and I will send you the link. Next up, some of my additional goals is I wanted to do my financial challenge of the month for February was to wait 1 week after finding something I want to buy that is a non-essential item and then buying it at least a week later, like waiting a full week from the initial impulse until when I want to buy. And this has worked so good already. There have been a couple items where I technically would say that they're non-essential and I ended up buying them, but for the most part, I have been doing this and it has been really good. I've kind of completely forgotten about some of the items that I was like dying to have. Highly recommend anyone try it for a month because a month is a habit. Don't they say it takes 30 days to build a habit? There you go. Next goal was to plan and potentially book flights for Euro trips. So we have not done this. Me and my boyfriend need to get on it. We don't even know where we want to go yet. We haven't even ironed that down. So I think we just need to have a little date night of sitting down with our computers and figuring out where we want to go. So next goal was to get blood work 2 weeks prior to my naturopath appointment. I went for blood work on Friday and that should be enough time before my appointment next Monday. Not exactly 2 weeks, but the goal was just to make sure I had my blood work ready to go. I wanted to buy a new phone case. It's in the mail. I have my new phone now, but it's been a little bit risky without a case, so I'm anxiously waiting for my new phone case. My next goal was to plan what items I want to buy for my vacation. So if you saw my wish list video, I did a shopping wish list video where I went through basically everything I have been wanting recently, and most of it was for my vacation. Officially done this. I wanted to look for a cabinet for my office space. I haven't been looking at all, if I'm gonna be honest. I haven't thought about it, haven't looked at it. I spent my home budget for the month on something else, so. And my next goal was to plan my monthly donation, and I have not done this. So yeah, once again, haven't planned it. Next up is read 2 books. This is in progress. I am not done Iron Flame yet, so we're halfway through the month and I haven't even finished Iron Flame. I also recently got the Crescent City, the 3rd book, a physical copy, and it has made me want the first 2 books in a physical copy because it is just stunning. It is a beautiful book. Look at this honker. That is a book. That is a book. Just stunning inside. But I think that might be the next book I read. Technically, I should read A Court of Silver Flames first, but I might get a little excited and read this book. But I doubt that I'm gonna finish that before the end of February, so I don't know if I will take off read 2 books. Technically, I have read 2 books. I've listened to one. I need to determine if that counts. Is listening to an audiobook the same as reading 2 books? And then the last goal was to clean the pantry room, and I did do this. I did it really quickly, and it's one of those things where I'm like, why did I put this off for so long? I have had a very okay month financially. I think I started the month really spendy. I definitely spent a lot closer to the beginning of the month, so I was very worried that I was just like not gonna be able to control myself. But the last week was very low spend, so it's kind of balanced itself out. Currently, our income is sitting at about $3,000, a little bit below. My expenses, I keep saying we, and it's like, this is my money. This is not me, my partner's money. I don't know why I say we, it's my money. All right, and then expenses and bills, we have spent, not we, oh my God, I have spent $1,100. Savings and investments, I have put $1,000 towards, and then my credit cards, I put $25.73 towards. My credit card bills, I think they're due in the next 5 days, all 3 of them that I predominantly use. And I paid most of them at the very beginning of the month. And then I had a little bit of extra money I had to put towards my Amex that I didn't have from my last paycheck. So I waited until this previous Friday to pay that one off, and I just paid that off today. Credit cards from January are officially wiped clean. So I think what happened in my last budget with me video, the February reset, is I had extra money, I think I said, and then I was gonna determine if I was gonna put that into savings or if I was just gonna wait for when I book my travel, and then, you know, instead of pulling money from savings, just using the money I had extra sitting in my checking. But I realized what happened is I ended up being a month or a paycheck ahead. So I paid my cards off earlier than I needed to, And then I ended up having more money. This is so confusing. So I ended up getting myself a paycheck ahead. So instead of waiting for my paycheck and then like 2 days after that having to pay my credit card bill because it was due 2 days after that, I ended up being a full paycheck ahead. I think I'm just gonna leave everything as is. I like being a paycheck ahead. I was kind of wanting to do that anyway last year, but then, you know, stuff happens. So I am just gonna leave everything as is. I'm not gonna be transferring anything from my savings. All right, and then let's cover the 50, 30, 20 split. So we are sitting at about 48% savings right now, 38% wants, and then 13% need. Let's look at the expense breakdown. So it looks like some of my bigger categories right now are my health. Obviously, I'm not mad about that at all. Fun is a big category, which I actually am trying to think of what I purchased in the fun category, and I can't even remember. We will cover that. Beauty has been a big one. I did a big Korean beauty haul. So that is a big one. Groceries are at 8%, transportation at 12%. Yeah, she has not been shopping apparently. Good for her. Income has been exactly kind of where I expected it. I got my first paycheck. I am a salaried employee, so my pay is pretty consistent. I don't have to worry too much about that. I was expecting an extra e-transfer from my mom and my brother for my mobile plan. Haven't received that quite yet. I usually ask for that closer to the end of the month. I have been paid $75 from my Etsy, so that's just people purchasing my spreadsheets. And then I have returned a couple of items. So I got quite a few items from Black Friday were returned in this period. And then I also returned my Rode mics. And this is a new item I added. I did not have a line item in income for returned items, but I think I wanted to separate it from bonus just because I can deduct it at the end of the year from expenses. And that way I have a better idea of what I actually bought. Because I think when I look at my expenses at the end of the year, I don't want to be so hard on myself if I returned a good chunk of items. Let us go to expenses. So groceries, super low right now. I've paid for $92 of groceries. And as I discussed in my last month's budget with me video, I had bought a lot of the groceries for January. So my boyfriend has been paying for a lot of them in February. We did a big Costco haul on Saturday, and then we did a grocery run afterward, and he paid for all of it. So it was like $300 up front. So good on him. I will be buying the rest of the groceries for the rest of the month though. So I think that this will obviously go up, and I probably will be closer to my budgeted amount. But right now we're doing really good. Transportation, I got gas, so that is a good chunk of my monthly budget item for this one. I don't think there will be too much for this. I think a couple of appointments I have to pay for parking, but I think we should be on budget for this one unless something comes up. Eating out, I have $45 of my allotted $50. I know that 20 of this was from yesterday. Yesterday was Super Bowl Sunday. So I went to a bar with my friends and I got 2 Corona Zeros. I haven't been drinking at all, really. I think I've had 2 drinks since January 1st, and that was on a girls' day. Oh, that's probably what this was. Probably from the girls' day. Yeah, I had 2 drinks with my friends, but otherwise I've been just having like 0 alcohol beers, but 0 alcohol beers still cost like $7 or $8. 45 bucks there. I didn't want to put it under drinking because I don't want it to appear like I've been having alcohol, because I haven't. Coffee, I'm over budget. I reloaded my Starbucks card, I think the full 15, and then I bought a flat white yesterday at the Super Bowl party because I was tired. All right, next up, drinking and weed products. I'm at 58. Clothes, I've only spent $26 so far. Not bad, not bad. Beauty, I am at 107. So this is a category I had to up my budget. I think I only put $50 at the beginning of the month, but I was running out of sunscreen, and I usually do a big haul of like Korean sunscreen from Stylovana, and they had a couple of good discounts on some Korean products I wanted to try. So I got a little bit of a haul, and that was $110. Fun. I cannot remember what this is, but I've spent 126 of my 200. 0 on my cat. Health, I've spent 230 of my 350. That was expected. I knew it was gonna be expensive. I still have my naturopath appointment, so this will definitely be closer to that 350 for sure at the end of the month. Gifts, I sent my $50 gift card that I had planned to send to my friend for her birthday. Home, I spent $69. I believe my Crescent City book is in the home because I also got 2 glasses at the same time from Indigo. So I put the whole thing under home just because it felt like home. And and I think that was the majority of it, if I'm remembering correctly. Next up, we have miscellaneous. I have no idea what this is. I cannot remember, but we will go through that. Travel, I'm expecting to spend about $850 on our flights. My goal is to find at least our flights hopefully this month. So that is to be determined. Donations, I have donated 17 of my $25. Oh yeah, I said I haven't planned my donations, but I've kind of donated by accident. I will kind of discuss this later, but I have spent $17 on donations. And then business, this is currently at 0, but I did actually just buy the DJI mics, which were a little bit more expensive than the Rode mics. I think they were like $260. That will be a new expense, but $200 will be deducted from that because I got a return from January. Bills, everything is according to plan. All good there. Savings. Oh, I realized that for every budget video I have done this year so far, I've been putting that I have been saving $250 for the month as a whole in my savings and sinking funds, but I've been doing $250 per paycheck. So it's closer to 500. And I've been budgeting according to that number. So that's kind of funny, but I have updated that. So $37.50 goes into each of my sinking funds. You can see the sinking funds all here. Each paycheck, not for the month as a whole. All right, investments. These are auto investments, so they are exact numbers. They get pulled out of my account automatically, and I have invested according to plan. I wish this was more exciting just because I love talking about this stuff, but I am all about the auto investments, and that has been my favorite thing that I've ever done for myself is to set up auto investments. And so I have no control over it. It just gets taken out, and that is what it is. And I highly recommend everyone do that. And then we have credit cards. So I have paid my credit card statements in full. I put in the budget, the exact statement values. So that's why they perfectly line up. All right, the fun part, let's dive into my expenses. The very first thing I did at the beginning of the month. So this is something I need to keep an eye on, is I find that as soon as the month rolls over and it is considered my next month's spending, I tend to buy very expensive things early on because I have all of this budget to play with, and then it kind of screws me up for the entire month. So this is something I want to keep an eye on, but it is a trend that I notice often with my budget videos. So we started the month with a supplement top up. I went to see a naturopath, if you haven't been following along, and I have specific supplements that we are working on my health with, and I have to top them up every time that they go empty. Next up, I have my sunscreen and my skincare that I talked about. And then I got paid from Etsy. So this was a $58 payment. And then we have our credit payment. So I paid off my Neo MasterCard at the beginning of the month. And then I have my massage. I went to see my massage therapist for my first massage of the year. And there's an extra deductible that I don't normally have to pay. So it was a little bit more money than usual, but I have to submit this to my boyfriend's insurance. So I think this should be actually cheaper than what this was. Then I paid for parking, 82 cents. Then I paid off my RBC credit card. It was $915 that I owed. And then all I had left from my last paycheck of January was about $1,000 to put onto my credit card. I still had a couple hundred as like a buffer, but I just transferred $1,000 at this point, and then I said I would wait till my following paycheck to finish that amount. I technically, my credit cards are due closer to like mid-month or a little after mid-month, so I was paying these cards off early. I just wanted to do a simple transfer just to make sure if I forgot to pay my credit card for some reason, that at least some of it was covered. And I only owed, I think, $378 after this $1,000. Then I paid, oh yes, this is the fun thing. Then I signed up for my half marathon. I didn't want to put this under health just because I already have such high bills for health already. So I put it under fun, and technically it is fun. It's supposed to be fun. So I paid for my half marathon. I did not know they were so expensive. I saw this TikTok, and it was like it was like a sign someone had at a marathon. It was like, you paid to do this. And I was like, that's true. Paying like $160 to do this. That's kind of crazy. And then when I signed up for my marathon, there was an option to donate. So I donated $10 to MS Canada. So that is going to be 10 of my 25 donation for the month. Next up, I have some sunglasses I bought from Amazon. If you saw my weekday morning routine video, you would have seen at the end my new sunglasses that I got. I wasn't sure on them, but I think I like them, so we're gonna keep them. They were $26 from Amazon. Then I bought a gift. So this is for my lovely friend Eva. It was her birthday. I gave her a gift card to a restaurant. Then I had a purchase for my phone case. This was expensive. I talked about this in one of my videos. I can't remember which one, but I'm baffled by how expensive phone cases are. My God, $80. Ridiculous. All right, then I purchased Crescent City and my couple of glasses from Indigo. This was only $33 for this giant book. And I got 2 cute like whiskey glasses. They're like a smoky color. And I think this book was on sale. And then I'm a Plum Plus member, so I got an extra amount off. And then I had some points to use, so then I used that as well. And then I got free shipping, so. And then next up, I got a sandwich with my girlies. We had a lovely day where we went for a nice hike and then we got some sandwiches afterwards, and my sandwich was $17.44. At the same shop, I got a coffee for $5. I split this up just because I track my coffee separate from food, so that is why it's separated. And then I bought mason jars for my overnight oats. This is probably why my home was higher than I expected. We had like jars that I bought when I was in university, and like the lids are rusting and they're so old. So we're definitely gonna get some new lids for those. We're not tossing them or anything like that. We're gonna keep the mason jars. But I was getting really frustrated with the tall mason jars just because the top is so small. So it's so hard to like pour overnight oats into it. I was just like having a mess. And then it was even like kind of difficult to get the oats out because they're like a pretty tall jar. So I got like shorty little fat jars from Amazon. That was $35. Then we went for some drinks at Earl's. We went for happy hour. I got 2 drinks. It was $22. And then I paid for my bill, my Ren membership. This is a subscription I pay for that is to offset your carbon output. And then I got a bubble tea at the mall. I was hungry and thirsty, and I kind of thought, what can quench both for the cheapest value? And I said bubble tea. $7 there. Then I bought some edibles from a cannabis store. That was $36. And then I donated. I bought a joint for the homie. So there was a man outside that asked me when I entered if I could buy him a joint. And I said maybe. And then I thought on it and I was like, you know what? A charitable donation, I shall. And I bought him a joint. And then I reloaded my Starbucks card for $10. Then I had my next Etsy payment. And then I got a refund. So I bought some Abercrombie jeans in November. I had this like awful thing happen where the email I used for checkout, I accidentally spelled Hotmail wrong. I never got the email receipt. I never had the order number. It wasn't linked to my Abercrombie account. So I couldn't access this order, and then I couldn't return the item. So it was just a nightmare. But anyway, I finally got my return. That was $82. Then I took the train. That was $3. I got some gels for running. I've been running longer distances now. We're at like 14, 16 kilometers, that kind of distance. So I needed some energy and some sustenance for those long runs. And that was $41 on Amazon. Also expensive. Then I bought some poppies for my Sleepy Girl mocktails. I have been spending a lot of money on poppies. They're like $3.50 each, but they're absolutely delicious. Then I got some groceries for my office space. I like to buy a couple of items just to keep in the fridge, just in case I get hungry at work. Then I went for gas. My gas was $122. Then I returned my road mics, so I got $201 for that. Then I got my first pay of the month, which was close to what I expected. And then we have my investments went through, my savings all went through, and then I paid my Amex today. So that also went through. And then I went to Whole Foods and I got some groceries for a date night. Me and my boyfriend we kind of switch between a restaurant and then an at-home date night. And so I was planning the at-home date night and I went and got us some vegan cheeses. We did a vegan cheese and mocktail night. And then I was at Safeway and we were out of salt and paprika. So I picked that up. And then I paid $2 for parking. And then I got a flat white at the Super Bowl event I was talking about. And then I had 2 Corona Zeros on Super Bowl Sunday. And that was that. So I think so far this month has been pretty good. I feel like everything has been very straightforward. I obviously have spent quite a bit on health, but I've never been that mad about that. And I think that the rest of the month should be pretty good. Obviously, I'm going to be buying a couple items for my vacation, so my shopping and non-essential spending will be higher, of course. But yeah, I feel pretty good about everything so far. I haven't been deprived or really thinking too much on, my money. I've been feeling good. I feel like making these wish lists of things I want has been actually like really, really fun. And it's kind of a way for me to flex that like wanting to spend money without actually pulling the trigger. And I usually am like a week later thinking about it and I'm like, wow, I've completely forgot about that item and I don't really even want it that much anymore. Thank you so much for joining me for this video today. I hope the audio is not atrocious because of the AirPods. And my next video will be on my new mics. So hopefully the audio just gets better and better. And thank you for putting up with me. Hopefully this is the last time I ever have to apologize for my audio. If you are not currently a subscriber, why don't you join us? It is a lot of fun over here. We do some fun stuff. And thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. Bye!